Recorded live on tape aboard an Allegiant Airlines flight to Las Vegas, where we are in the very first class suite of our very first class guest tonight, Mr. Jerry Tarkanian, who just a few minutes ago was telling J-Lo and Ben Affleck the best choices of wedding chapels for eloping on the Strip. It's the Good Sports Show with Chris Terrence. Tonight, we are visiting with one of the true legendary names in the kingdom of basketball, Sir Tark himself, and a veteran of many, many concerts in Las Vegas with Stevie Wonder and Kool and the Gang. It's our very own Larry Gittens providing the music, the coffee, the tea, and whatever else you want on your flight. And now, your attention please, ladies and gentlemen, with an announcement of our ETA. Here's Chris.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Legendary Coaching Night here at the old Good Sports Show. Jerry Tarkanian is going to be here, and boy, it's going to be a great thrill talking with Jerry once again. And Larry, you're looking a little raw tonight. What's this? You got Eagles socks, Eagles shoes, Eagles shirt, Eagle hat. What?
Eagles stock, everything, man. I'm an Eagles guy tonight.
Do you have an Eagles watch on?
Happy to say so, yeah.
Please. Just because they beat the Titans one time, you're going crazy, you know. But it looks like they're heading for the playoffs.
Yeah, they're a real team this year.
All right, great.
Real team.
You're pretty excited about Jerry Tarkanian being here tonight for a special reason, and what that reason is?
That reason is the very first game that the legendary coach coached here at Fresno. I had the great opportunity to play the Star Spangled Banner, and I was a very happy man. And we love you, Coach. You're a great coach.
Awesome. In fact, we're gonna take a break right now and come back and talk with that legendary coach right after this.
Looking for Mediterranean cuisine at its finest? Then come enjoy Phoenician Garden, voted #1 healthiest cuisine. Using olive oil, no preservatives, and no fat in our meats makes us perfect for those on the Atkins diet. We invite you down to enjoy our famous shish kebab and mouth-watering delicacies. During your stay, you'll be served by the finest waiters and relaxing music. On Saturday, stop in and take a trip into the past, a ballet dancer and authentic sounds. Remember, Phoenician Garden.
Liquor King Check Cashing blows the competition away with 4 locations in Fresno offering check cashing, money orders, and Western Union. We'll beat anyone's advertised price with a lower fee. You'll find us at the corner of Blackstone and Herndon Avenue, West Shaw and Phelan inside You Save Liquor, J&L Check Cashing at Clinton and Marks, and Tropicana Check Cashing at Cedar and Olive next to Walgreens in Fresno.
Liquor King. It's Christmas in Good Sports Land, and what a pleasure it is to talk with Debbie out here at the Ritz House on the corner of Blackstone and Herndon. And Debbie, what's going on here?
Well, we're having a big men's night tonight. All the men are coming out. We have cigars and champagne, and we have diamonds to show them. And like I say, again, we have chocolate here, too, to ease the pain, and hors d'oeuvres. Men are out here hopefully to make their wives happy and buy them a diamond, either earrings or pendants. We have a lot of guys that showed up tonight. We're real happy to see them.
And at Christmas rushes, that's when the place is really packed, right? Because that's when you really want to get to the heart of your girl.
Yeah, that's right. Usually guys come the last 2 days of Christmas, but tonight they're doing pretty good. Okay. You know, they're out here looking at our specials. We have specials in diamond earrings and pendants and rings, and yeah, so we're doing good.
How long do the specials go on?
Well, they go on from now to Christmas. So anytime after tonight, if the guys want to come out here, anytime we have those specials going.
Okay, you got a week, Good Sports. That's Herndon and Blackstone, and it's the Ritz House. And come in and ask Debbie for the special.
I always say we'll make you happy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Good Sports Show. And what a great pleasure it is to introduce an old friend, Jerry Tarkanian. Always great to see you, Coach.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
You know, I wanted to start out tonight by just saying that I'm really enjoying your radio show.
I think it's a great radio show, really. I have tomorrow it's at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock on 1340, and I have Rick Majerus and Andy Katz tomorrow. And the following Wednesday, I've got Lute Olson and Gene Cady.
Man, I've heard Digger Phelps on there, Rick Pitino, on and on and on, and I really, really enjoyed Bill Walton.
Bill was great.
Isn't he a great person?
Well, he's a great person. He was such a great player, and I've had Bobby Knight on the show.
Yeah,
You
don't hear Bobby Knight on too many shows.
No.
But and also, I think those guys do a great job with you. It's a Greg and Andre on,
Yeah,
on the ball,
absolutely.
1340.
Yeah,
They do a great
absolutely.
job. It's a neat thing. It's on Wednesdays, and it's on at, 12 noon?
12 noon and 6 o'clock at night. And I'm having a lot of fun. It's really been a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, it's really good to hear you guys sharing things that you all done together while you're doing this thing, and then it's also good to hear what's going on in the world of hoop right now.
It's on station 1340 AM.
Right. Do you are you on other people's shows now? Do you do that a lot? They call you back. Say, hey, Tark, this is I'm calling from the Rick Pitino show, and we want to have you on as a guest. Do you do a lot of that?
Some, not too much, but I do some.
Because used to hear you all the time when they call you from ESPN or here or
Yeah.
there, and that's always fun.
Yeah, when I was coaching, I did a lot more.
Well, you started out. Let's just go over the whole background. You started out right here in Fresno, playing for Fresno State. My question is, were you as good a guard as your son Danny?
No. I wasn't real good at all, but I played a lot my senior year.
But you started.
My senior year, I did last half the year.
Well, that's Division I basketball, Coach.
But we didn't have a real good team, and I was short and slow.
But you could hit the outside shot, huh?
I was the last of the set shooters.
Yeah, teams like, back when I was in high school, of course, there was no three-pointer then either. And every team had one guy who could bust that outside shot to try to draw the defense out a little bit. If you hit your first or your second, they'd bring him out. Nowadays, everybody's hitting the three. The 6'10", the 7-footers are hitting threes.
Absolutely. And then the jump shot was coming in just as I was leaving, and I never did get the jump shot down.
But you were, I'm sure you were the point guard, right?
I was a point guard.
In fact, let me ask you about that, the difference between basketball now. Everybody says that their generation was the best. Well, I remember my favorite time was when the Lakers and the Celtics had back in those days in the late 70s, early 80s, when it was Magic and Bird and Dennis Johnson and Worthy and back Parrish and McHale and all that. Compared to today's style of ball, where does that kind of fit in?
Well, in my day when I was playing, heck, our center was 6'5", and we thought he was a giant. Times have changed. Now you've got 6'9" guards. And
I guess Magic changed a lot of that, huh?
Magic started it, and it's spread, and now you got Kevin Garnett, 7'1",
hitting those
playing
three-pointers.
as a small forward. He's 7'1", and Tracy McGrady doing the same thing. So there's no question that the players are better now because of better training methods, better nutrition. They're taller, they're faster, they're stronger. Of course, I don't know if anybody's any stronger than Will Chamberlain was, but
Will
they
was
are
strong.
strong.
Yeah. Well, you once told me that that you thought that the greatest player you ever saw, you said if you asked me to, you said this on my show one time, you said if you asked me to name the 10 greatest players I've ever seen in my life, the 10 greatest players that ever were, Michael Jordan would be the first 9.
At that time, I really believed that. And he is absolutely a fabulous player, the best college player I'd ever seen. And I say this because I watched so many of their games, and that was Bill Walton when he was at UCLA, because he made everybody around him better. Not only was he great, but everybody who played with him became a great player.
I remember watching him. I remember going up and watching him play against Stanford up there at Maples Pavilion, and just being in absolute awe. Not so much of his scoring ability, but his all-around game where he, his rebounds. He'd go up between people and take a ball out, and take a rebound out, get it out to the guard, and get down the floor. He was a great player.
He's such a great passer, and when he went with Portland, what people forget that one year they won the NBA championship. I can't remember the year. The next year they were going to destroy the NBA. They were something like 56-5 or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but they were totally destroying the NBA. And everybody on that team was getting, everybody wanted to sign him. They were all getting raises. And he had Dave Twardzik and Lionel Hollins, and he had Bobby Gross. And once Walton got hurt, and when he got hurt, nobody wanted any of those guys. They just weren't very good.
Well, that just
but
goes to show you
he just made everybody better.
Yeah.
And I just loved watching him.
And they were the essence of team play, weren't they? Every now and then teams come along like that, don't they?
Yeah.
Weren't the 75 Warriors like that with Rick Barry and them? They played as a team.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but the Knicks with the Busher and
that
that group. But Bill Walton, he just makes people better.
Did you always know that you were going to go into coaching? Is that what you wanted to do when you were young?
Oh, I always knew I wanted to coach, which really amazes me now. I talk to some of my players, and they're not sure what they want to major in. I knew from day one I wanted to be a basketball coach, and that made it better for me because I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I never thought I'd be a college coach. I thought that I would someday coach at Edison High School or else at Pasadena High School where I grew up, and that was it. I never anticipated going to college.
Kind of cool that you got your start right here in Fresno at San Joaquin Memorial High School. And we're going to talk about that and on to Long Beach and all the great things that you did in this fabulous career. And we'll take a short break and come back right after this with more Jerry Tarkanian.
Now, finally, affordable television advertising that works with DiscountTVSpots.com.
TV, people respond directly to TV. So we were happy with Discount TV Spots. It got us on the air, and it got us noticed. First day the commercial ran, 6 calls in 6 minutes. That's what I call an excellent response.
Log on today to DiscountTVSpots.com or call toll-free 1-877-542-0499 and watch your business grow.
The coast is not the only place for fabulous seafood. Visit Pacific Seafood Restaurant in Fresno. Pacific Seafood is a San Francisco-style restaurant with a menu brimming with outstanding seafood dishes, prepared to please even the hard to please, and their prices are pleasing to the pocketbook, too. For a delicious lunch, delightful dinner, or special occasion, visit Pacific Seafood Restaurant. Advanced reservations advised but not required. Pacific Seafood at First and Herndon, near TGI Fridays.
Having phone trouble? Clovis Telephone Company at your service. Clovis Telephone Company specializes in Executone and Intertel products and offers sales and service of many other systems. In fact, Clovis Telephone Company is the only certified dealer of Executone equipment in the Valley. Call Mike at Clovis Telephone Company. We're your gateway to the world of communication.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Good Sports. My name is Chris Terrence. This is Coach Jerry Tarkanian. And, Coach, before we go on about your coaching career, I just want to clarify for all those old hackers out there like myself who about the Celtics and the Lakers, they would survive in today. Those teams would survive in today, or they wouldn't?
No, absolutely, because the NBA is watered down now. They have so many teams now, and the players are all spread out. As a team, those teams would probably be better.
Yeah, you kind of look for that these days, and there's so many superstars, I guess, if you want to call them that. But it seems like the quality is down a little bit, although the athletes are better. Is that a way of putting it?
Absolutely.
So let's talk about your coaching career. You went from San Joaquin Memorial. Didn't you go to Saddleback first, or something?
I went from San Joaquin Memorial to Antelope Valley High School for 1 year in Lancaster, then 2 years at Redlands High School, and then 5 years at Riverside City College.
Oh, Riverside.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I loved that place. And then 2 years back to my hometown, Pasadena. And when I went to Riverside, I thought I'd retire there. When I went to Pasadena, I was sure I was going to retire there. That was my hometown. And then just one thing led to another, and I wound up coaching at Long Beach State.
How did that happen?
Well, we won real big in junior college, and when you win real big, then people start talking about jobs, and I had a lot of offers when I was in junior college, but I was reluctant to leave the West Coast. I didn't want to leave the West Coast, and I wanted to be a head coach, and I didn't want to be an assistant, and I loved the junior colleges that I was in. I had 2 great junior college jobs, and in fact, my junior college record was a lot better than my college record. I was the winningest junior college coach in California history.
One record there you had, or I guess at Long Beach State, you had a record 116 and 17.
Yeah, that was Long Beach State. But this was junior college. It was going so good, and I loved junior college. Pasadena was my hometown, and we had a nice home there, and I thought I'd be there forever. And then the athletic director from Long Beach State called me, and we met secretly in the city of Commerce, which was halfway between Long Beach and Pasadena, and he offered me the job. And then I got excited about that because it was a 4-year school, and I could live at the beach. So we moved to Huntington Beach, California, and I thought for sure I'd be there forever.
Well, you know, it just goes to show you, you know, you never know. But they came looking for you, right?
Yeah, we like you said, we won real big at Long Beach State, and then I was going to Arizona State. That was my athletic director from Long Beach had gone to Arizona State, and I was going to Arizona State when UNLV started pursuing me, and it was the third time the UNLV came after me. They came after me twice when I was in junior college. Once when I was in junior college, once when I first went to Long Beach, and both times I turned them down because my wife didn't want to move there, and she didn't like Vegas and everything. Then they kept coming after me, and so I sent my wife and my daughter to Vegas on a visit. I didn't go because we were in our season, and they came back and said it was up to me.
Wow.
So anyways, I wound up at Vegas. I loved Vegas. I mean, you couldn't possibly beat the years I had at Vegas.
Well, Vegas obviously loves you, and
it was fun.
So you were never an assistant coach then?
No, Eddie Sutton told me many years ago that to his knowledge, he and I were the only coaches that have never been an assistant. We were head coaches in high school, head coaches in junior college, head coaches at every level, and Eddie told me that. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, you know, along that line, nowadays you very rarely see a coach go directly from high school to a college head coaching job, right? I mean, very, very rarely.
It's usually not going to happen from high school to a 4-year school, but I had to step in there to junior college.
I figured in this day and age, if it was going to happen, it would be Vance Wahlberg.
Oh, Vance will get to a 4-year school. He's a great coach.
Yeah, have you seen City run?
Yeah, you know, I've seen Vance's practices, and you know, Lauren LeBeau is his assistant.
Oh, he's amazing. He's a great assistant coach.
He's a great coach, and I think that, you know, there's no doubt in my mind that those two will be coaching on a college level. And you know what's great about Vance is he's got a system that he believes in, and there's no deviating from that system, and he makes it work at whatever level he's at. And I'm anxious to see if he'll work at a 4-year level.
Yeah, of course, people wondered, is it going to work at a junior college level? And it sure obviously is working.
Well, I knew it would work at the junior college level. I still think it'll work at the 4-year level because he believes in it, and if he believes in it and his players believe in it, they'll make it work.
You know, your stay at UNLV, there's so many things to talk about, so many great times. You know, you won the national championship and all that. And I don't mean to be negative, but I just, have you gotten over that Duke game yet where you got ripped off? I mean, because I don't know why they don't show that on ESPN Classic, that game, because that was a classic. And I don't like to knock the referees, but in that particular game, don't you think you got a little hammered?
We really thought we did. And the guy from Montana, the sportscaster, I can't think of his name now. Anyways, he introduced me at a dinner one time, and he said that he really admired how I never criticized officials after that game, because that was the biggest ripoff that he'd seen in years.
I'll never forget it.
We really, I mean, it was we didn't play well, but Duke played great, and you know, we were 35-0 when we lost that game. And Duke had lost 7 games that year already, and we had beaten them by 30 points a year earlier. And
it was unbelievable.
Duke had a great game, and you know, we just did do what we had to do.
And when Greg Anthony fouled out that time, and he was over actually at the water fountain getting a drink, and they called the foul on him. But anyway, I guess that's all part of the game. Oh, I sure do. Boy.
I remember that game. You know, I've replayed that game 1,000 times in my mind.
That was a total that was a shame, is what it was. It was a shame for basketball. So many great players came out of UNLV: Larry Johnson, Stacey Augman, Reggie Theus, on and on. Danny Tarkanian, J.R. Ryder, Greg Anthony. You can't pick a favorite out of them, can you?
Yeah, I can. Of course, my son Danny's always my favorite, but Larry Johnson is probably the nicest player and person I've ever been associated with in athletics.
I remember he was sure a lot of fun when he came here to Fresno. Jerry, we got to interrupt just for one second. We're going to take a short break and come back with more right after this. It's Christmas in Good Sports Land, and what a pleasure it is to talk with Debbie out here at the Ritz House on the corner of Blackstone and Herndon. And Debbie, what's going on here?
Well, we're having a big men's night tonight. All the men are coming out. We have cigars and champagne, and we have diamonds to show them. And like I say, again, we have chocolate here, too, to ease the pain, and hors d'oeuvres. Men are out here hopefully to make their wives happy and buy them a diamond, either earrings or pendants. We have a lot of guys that showed up tonight. We're real happy to see them.
And at Christmas rushes, that's when the place is really packed, right? Because that's when you really want to get to the heart of your girl.
Yeah, that's right. Usually guys come the last 2 days of Christmas, but tonight they're doing pretty good. Okay. You know, they're out here looking at our specials. We have specials and diamond earrings and pendants and rings, and yeah, so we're doing good.
How long do the specials go on?
Well, they go on from now to Christmas. So anytime after tonight, if the guys want to come out here, anytime we have those specials going.
Okay, you got a week, Good Sports. That's Herndon and Blackstone, and it's the Ritz House. And come in and ask Debbie for the special.
I always say we'll make you happy.
Liquor King Check Cashing blows the competition away with 4 locations in Fresno offering check cashing, money orders, and Western Union. We'll beat anyone's advertised price with a lower fee. You'll find us at the corner of Blackstone and Herndon Avenue, West Shaw and Phelan inside You Save Liquor, J&L Check Cashing at Clinton and Marks, and Tropicana Check Cashing at Cedar and Olive next to Walgreens in Fresno.
Liquor King.
Now, finally, affordable television advertising that works with DiscountTVSpots.com.
You can't really hear it on the radio. You can't really see the action in print media, but when you actually see it being performed, and that's why I think Discount TV Spots did a wonderful job in showcasing what gymnastics really entails.
Log on today to DiscountTVSpots.com or call toll-free 1-877-542-0499 and watch your business grow.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Good Sports. So we're visiting with Coach Jerry Tarkanian. And, Coach, we're talking about some of the players, so many of the names that are in the NBA. You still have a ton of UNLV players in the NBA now. You still see a lot of the guys. You still see Larry and Stacy. And
Yeah, I don't see them too much. I talk to them on the phone some, but not a lot now. I did when they first went in the league.
They've all been doing great. They had
They're great people, too.
You know, you had that people who say, well, they used to call you Father Flanagan, because you would you take all these kids that nobody else would want or whatever, and you really had great success with it. I remember Lloyd Daniels. There was a problem with Lloyd Daniels, who when I was living in New York, I heard that he was one of the greatest players. When I went home to visit, said he was one of the greatest players ever to play in New York, even better than Connie Hawkins.
He was the best ninth grader, they say, maybe ever in New York. But Lloyd never played for us. We just got him there, and he never played. He got involved in drugs, and we got rid of him. But he never played for us. But I had the greatest kids around. I think that Father Flanagan came from the fact that I came from junior college. I came from 7 years as a junior college coach. I went into Long Beach State, and in those days, nobody recruited more than 2 or 3 junior college players. They didn't think you could win with them. And I had the California Junior College All-Stars with me because we'd won 4 straight state championships. So all the players, junior college players, wanted to come with me. And all of a sudden, we start beating everybody. And, we took UCLA to the last 23 seconds. And that's a game that, I won't get into the officiating there, but that's a game that really hurts. We led from start to finish, and that was John Wooden's era, and that was Sam Gilbert's era. And you know who Sam Gilbert is. Sam Gilbert was the godfather of UCLA basketball. And we led them until the last 23 seconds, and we did it with all JUCOs. Eddie Ratliff was the only guy that
he was great.
The only guy that wasn't a junior college player. And so everybody started making comments, well, Tark's getting all these junior college guys. But, you look around the country, the players that we've had at UNLV and the players we had at Fresno are no different than Louisville, Cincinnati, 80% of the colleges. They're certainly not like Dukes or Stanfords, but they're like the rest of them. St. John's, Cincinnati, Louisville, Oklahoma, they're the same.
Sure, that's the big thing now. What do you and John Wooden ever get together in arm wrestle or talk about basketball? Is he fun for you to talk with?
John didn't mix a lot with coaches, but when I first started coaching, he was absolutely wonderful to me. And I'll never forget the first press conference when Long Beach State hired me, and it was in the off season, and the season was just ending, and they took me to the press conference, and he spent about 3 minutes congratulating Long Beach on hiring me, and I thought, this is really wonderful. This guy that I hardly even know doing that. He's a class guy all the way through, and certainly a great coach.
He was also a point guard himself back in the days when the pants were a lot shorter.
He was ahead of my time.
You know, here in Fresno, you came to Fresno State, and you know, that was probably the biggest thing. I don't remember ever a story that big on the front pages for so long. A lot of great things happened when you're here. You had problems when you were here. Any regrets about taking the job?
You know, I love the people here, and I've made so many good friends here, and I've really enjoyed my relationships with the people. I didn't enjoy the coaching here. It was the most difficult coaching I've ever done because I really don't think that they were going to let us win here. I think we came here, and I had some good players here, and every year we were losing 1 or 2 guys for strange reasons. You know, they'd declare a guy eligible, and then right before the first game they'd make him ineligible, and they would hold guys out. And you know, the one year we had 4 kids that were held out for drugs testing, and in all the time that I've been at Fresno, which now is 9 years, those are the only 4 players that's ever been held out. And if there's anybody in this town who thinks the only 4 players that have ever smoked marijuana, athletes at Fresno State, were those 4 guys, well then, you know, I'd like to sell them some real estate. I mean, seriously, I mean, it's the only 4. I mean, we were held to a totally different standard. And I really don't, I think there was a lot of pressure brought forth from the NC2A, but they never were really going to let us win. And
do you think they were still?
Well, my next to last year here, we were 26-7, and I had my best team coming back. Well, I had a team coming back that was a potential Final Four team, and they totally dismantled that team. They weren't going to let us win, and so the coaching wasn't fun. And even years prior to that, as assistants, we would talk. You know, we're always meeting. Instead of going over scouting reports and how we're going to play this opponent and that opponent, we're trying to figure out who they're going to make ineligible this week and who we're getting back next week, and trying to readjust. So we could never really coach. Coaching was not fun here. I love Fresno State because it's my alma mater. I love the people in the community that I've met, and I can't say enough about them. Some of them are the best people I've ever met anywhere.
Well, I remember when you had that thing with the NC2A, and of course you beat them in court, and that was a landmark. And then you turn around and dropped $100,000 on the Fresno State Library, or, you know, which showed where your heart was coming from. So,
I take great pride in the fact I'm the only coach that's ever beaten the NC2A in court. Now, I paid a great price for that. Nobody can understand how powerful that organization is because they control the media. They have so many media outlets around the country, and they get articles in a paper, and they can hurt you 1,000 different ways, and they do.
Yeah.
You know, even though I won.
It's a shame it has to be that way, but, you know, gosh, there's so many things I want to talk to you about. For instance, the Save Mart Center and this year's Fresno State team and all that, but we're running out of time here fairly rapidly. But I thought John Branch wrote an interesting article in the Fresno Bee about, hey, what are we going to call it? The Tark Center, you know, how do you feel about that? Because let's face it, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have had the Save Mart Center.
You know, that's not for me. You know, that's not for me to decide. That's up to the university. But I really feel that I'm really happy that I played a part in the getting the Save Mart Center here. I know I had played some part in that, whatever it was. I'm happy for that. It is a beautiful building. It's as good arena as there is on the West Coast. It might be the best college arena on the West Coast.
Yeah. Jerry, it's always good to see you. I hope you'll come back and see us again real soon.
Great, thank you.
Okay, Jerry Tarkanian, and that's the show, folks. We'll see you next time.